State of Michigan versus Alexis Yurden, 25-03476. Nolly, for this case, people are moving to dismiss without prejudice due to lack of necessary witness, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Doyle represented me that his client intended to plead, but I can't in good conscience take that plea knowing that we would not be able to proceed unless the witness appeared on Zoom without me knowing. I have not been able to get a hold of her. Of course, we have the right to reissue, as everyone is aware.
So, in case you didn't hear that, Ms. Yurden, they do have the right to reissue this case against you, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Doyle?
Oh, wait, hold on.
I was just going to say.
It sounds like the witness is here. I called her.
Victim. I'll say victim.
Okay, I apologize. It sounds like the witness is here.
Oh,
So,
victim is in the courtroom. So there was an offer?
yes, we made an offer in which she would plead guilty to count 2 with.
And Mr. Doyle, how is your client proceeding?
My client will be pleading guilty. There was also a killer boot for no upfront jail.
And this is a recent change in my courtroom policy. Please have to be in person now. I am going to allow her to proceed via Zoom, but she'll appear in person for sentencing. Well, actually, I can just sentence her today because she does have me. Okay, so Ms. Yurden is going to plead to count 2 of, is that dissemination of sexually explicit material?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, is that correct, Ms. Yurden?
Yes, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. Okay. And you're sitting in a car, you're not driving, correct?
Right.
Okay, and is anyone else in the vehicle with you?
Not at the moment.
And so you understand that the offers for you to plead guilty to count 2, that the people will dismiss count 1, and that there is a Killebrew, which is a sentencing agreement of no upfront jail. You understand that?
I do, Your Honor.
You understand that by pleading guilty, it could result in a conviction that you may need to report to your current employer, or you may need to put this on a future job application.
Yes, Your Honor.
As to count 2 of intentional dissemination of sexually explicit material, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Is that because you believe you are guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Doyle, you can order your client.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Ms. Yurden, on or about July 10, 2025, do you recall that date?
I do.
And what did you do to make you guilty of this offense?
It actually wasn't on that day. I believe it was like June 28th, June 27th.
Okay.
That time.
Yes.
And I shared a picture that she had sent my fiance and creepers, and then her naked picture, and then her face on my story on social media.
Okay, and she didn't give you authority to submit or post her nude photos on social media?
Correct.
And you agree that she's above 18 years old?
Yes.
Yeah, and I believe that's sufficient for a factual basis.
Any questions from the prosecution?
I apologize if this was asked. Did this happen in the city of Lansing?
Yes.
The people are satisfied with the factual basis.
The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea. Any objection to immediate sentencing?
No objection to immediate sentencing, Your Honor.
Does your victim want to make a statement?
Your Honor, the victim does not wish to make a statement.
You can make allocution.
Yes, Your Honor. I would just indicate for the record that Ms. Yurden is taking accountability for her actions. She's a single mother of 5 children. She's been in therapy since this incident. She's getting over a toxic relationship, toxic and abusive relationship. But nonetheless, she's taking accountability for her actions in this case. I'll just ask that you take all that into consideration.
I mean, Your Honor, if I may be heard, I would just say, obviously it's not lost in the court. This is a very serious crime, even though it's not reflected as such in severity given to it by the legislature. It's the kind of thing that's humiliating for a person and just never fully goes away. So I would request that the court consider that.
Ms. Yurden, did you want to make a statement?
I do, Your Honor. I would just like to say that I did commit this crime, and I do understand that is a serious offense. I am not the same person, nor am I in the same space that I was when I did this offense. I was in a very, very toxic and a very, very, very abusive relationship that I am currently pressing felony charges against my ex-fiance for. And that is why the victim has waited several months to even press charges, is because it is in retaliation to this case and is punishment for me trying to get free and have safety from him. I do believe that everything being done is a direct correlation to what he is telling her to do and what she is being directed to do by him, to punish me for standing up for myself. But
Let me interject, because I'm very lost, because based on your factual basis, this was your fiance, and you said that there were pictures that this woman sent your fiance, and now as you're making your statements, it doesn't. I didn't think that when you said that it sounded accountable, but it definitely doesn't sound accountable now. Who is the victim to this person that you allege to be your ex-fiance? What's the relationship?
I am the victim.
No, you're not the victim. You are the defendant.
I mean, no, not in this case. But
No,
I'm saying
talking
is,
about in this case.
okay.
Who? Yeah. What relationship does this? Is Miss Riggle?
Yeah, she's his ex-wife.
Okay. Okay. So she is his ex-wife. They were not married at the time of this alleged incident, is what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. And they have children in common?
They don't.
They do not? Okay.
No. Him and I have a child in common.
You and him have children in common. Okay. And so your belief is somehow that this case is stemming from her attempts to retaliate against you?
Correct.
Retaliate for what?
Because I am pressing felony domestic violence charges against my ex-fiance for 2 violent, ferocious beatings that he did that we are currently also going to court for.
So what does that have to do with Miss Riggle?
Now they are back dating. And
how do you know?
Oh, she comes to all of the court hearings and stuff when I am where I am subpoenaed to go to for my other cases, and he tried to bond out to her house. So
How
she
do you
comes.
know try to? Oh, wait. You were at court and you heard him try to bond out to her house?
Yes.
Okay. And so because of that, you formulated in a belief that the reason why she's pressing charges for you putting her nude photos on public social media is all because you are now an alleged victim in another case. Not because
Right.
you put her private body on social media.
I would just like to point out that the pictures were posted in
I don't want you. I
June.
don't want you to point anything out to me. I want you to answer my question. Because I'm trying to get you to understand what you're saying makes no sense.
Okay.
Would you like it if someone put your vagina on Facebook?
She did, Your Honor.
No. Did you like it?
I didn't care, honestly.
You don't. Oh, you don't care? Okay. Well, the average woman cares. The average woman has enough self-respect that they don't want their private body parts publicly exposed for any reason.
Right,
So,
and I understand that.
I'm happy to hear that you are in some counseling, because if you don't care that someone would post your private parts on social media, then you really got to do some deep soul searching. So I don't think you're at a place where you can take accountability, because I don't even believe you're being honest about whether or not you care that someone posted your body on social media.
I mean, I took the plea deal. I'm telling you that I did it. I'm telling you the correct dates that it happened. I'm taking full accountability. I'm also
Correct.
just giving you the full scope of.
But you're also justifying. When you justify your behavior, this is retaliation. You're saying that's retaliation. You have now gotten into the mind of Miss Riggle, and you are now telling me what she's thinking.
Due to the late charges being filed, I do believe that
and you know what the victim is thinking.
I don't. I'm just giving you my perspective, Your Honor.
Yeah. So my perspective is regardless if whether or not it is true that she is pressing charges because she's now upset that you are pressing charges against whoever this wonderful gentleman is that you all are arguing over. I disagree. I think that this behavior is egregious. And I think that you should be more focused on the fact that you found yourself in a situation where you were creating this energy and you're going back and forth and you're now taking a criminal charge, and it all stemmed from you being in a relationship with someone that you clearly should not have been in a relationship.
The courtroom hearing begins with what appears to be a routine dismissal after the prosecutor informs a judge that a key witness has failed to appear. Because the prosecution cannot proceed without that witness, the prosecutor asked the court to dismiss the case without prejudice, explaining that the charges could be refiled later if necessary. The judge informs the defendant that while the case may be dismissed for now, the prosecution still has the legal right to bring the charges again. Just as the dismissal seems inevitable, someone informs the court that the alleged victim has actually arrived at the courthouse, with the witness now present. The prosecutor immediately withdraws a request to dismiss and announces that a plea agreement has already been reached. Instead of moving toward trial, the defendant agrees to plead guilty to count 2, intentional dissemination of sexually explicit material, while the prosecution agrees to dismiss the first charge. The agreement also guarantees that there will be no upfront jail sentence, allowing the case to move directly into the plea hearing. The defendant appears before the court through Zoom while sitting inside a parked car. Before accepting the plea, the judge confirms that she is not driving, verifies that she is alone in the vehicle, and carefully explains every consequence of pleading guilty. He reminds her that a criminal conviction could affect both her current employment and future job opportunities. After confirming that she understands each of her constitutional rights, the judge asks how she pleads. Without hesitation, the defendant responds, "I'm guilty." She admits that she knowingly posted another woman's sexually explicit photographs on social media without permission. While describing what happened, she explains that the victim had originally sent the intimate pictures to her fiancé, and in an act of anger she reposted the victim's nude photograph, along with her face, on her own social media account. She also confirms that the victim never authorized her to share the images, and that the victim was over 18 years old. Satisfied that all legal requirements have been met, the judge formally accepts her guilty plea and moves directly to sentencing. Before the sentence is announced, the defense attorney asks the court to consider the circumstances surrounding the defendant's actions. He tells the judge that she is a single mother of 5 children who has accepted responsibility for a crime and has already begun therapy since the incident. According to the defense, she had been trapped in a toxic and abusive relationship that affected her judgment and emotional state. While making it clear that these circumstances do not excuse her conduct, her attorney argues that they help explain why she acted so irrationally. The prosecutor responds by emphasizing that the offense is far more serious than many people realize. Although the law may not classify it among the most severe crimes, publicly exposing another person's intimate photographs can leave permanent emotional damage that never fully disappears. The prosecutor urges a judge to remember the lasting humiliation suffered by the victim when deciding an appropriate sentence. When a defendant is given an opportunity to speak, she apologizes and admits that she committed the offense. She tells the judge that she is no longer the same person she was when the crime occurred and insists that she has changed her life. She explains that she has left the abusive relationship and is now pursuing felony domestic violence charges against her former fiancé for allegedly assaulting her on multiple occasions. She then claims that the victim delayed reporting this case because the criminal complaint was actually retaliation for her decision to report her ex-fiancé to the police. According to the defendant, the victim and her former fiancé are now back together and are working against her in an attempt to punish her for leaving the relationship. She argues that the entire criminal case is connected to the ongoing domestic violence dispute rather than simply her decision to post the photographs online. As the defendant continues speaking, the judge becomes increasingly frustrated. He interrupts her several times and questions whether she truly understands the seriousness of her actions. The judge points out that although she initially appeared to accept responsibility during the guilty plea, She is now attempting to shift blame onto other people instead of focusing on the harm she caused. He repeatedly asks her to explain why she believes the victim's motivation matters when the undisputed fact is that she intentionally posted another woman's nude photographs on social media without consent. When the defendant continues insisting that the victim filed charges only because of her relationship with the ex-fiancé, the judge tells her that she is making assumptions about another person's motives instead of accepting accountability for her own behavior. He reminds her that the victim's reasons for coming forward do not erase the humiliation caused by publicly exposing someone's private images. The exchange becomes even more intense when the judge asks the defendant a simple but powerful question. Would you like it if someone put your private body on Facebook? The defendant surprisingly answers that she personally would not care because something similar had already happened to her. The judge strongly rejects that response, explaining that most people would be deeply humiliated if intimate photographs of their bodies were posted online without permission. He tells her that if she truly believes such conduct is unimportant, then she has serious emotional issues that still need to be addressed through counseling. According to the judge, her willingness to minimize the emotional impact on the victim demonstrates that she still does not fully appreciate the gravity of the crime. He explains that accepting a plea agreement is not the same as accepting genuine responsibility, especially when she continues trying to justify her behavior by blaming the circumstances surrounding her former relationship.